All right, when we're looking at measures of center, we are looking at things that describe the middle of a data set. So we're picking one number in the middle that would be representative of the center of a set of data. So there's three different things that we look at when we are finding measures of center. First, we have the mean, which is the average of a set of data. How do we find that? We add up all of the numbers in a data set, divide by the number of values in the set, and here is an example of that. Next up is the median. If you think of a median in the road, it's in the middle of the road, so it is exactly in the middle. But what is most important is that it has to be put in numerical order. Right, if I was finding the average age of people in the room and I happened to be in the middle of the data, the middle of the students, my age isn't representative of the middle of the average age, the middle age. So you'd have to make sure that we are put in order from least to greatest. And then this is important, put a star next to it. If there is an even amount of data values, there will be two middle values, so we'd have to find the mean of those two. So here's an example. It's in order from least to greatest. 8 is in the middle. That is the median. And then mode. I always remember MO, MO. The mode is the one that occurs the most often. You can have no mode if nothing repeats or they all repeat the same amount of times, or you can have more than one mode. In this example, 10 is the only one that repeats, so that is the mode. So let's look at a data set where we would be finding these. Number 1, the data shows the recorded high temperatures for 7 days in Chicago, Illinois during December. So we're going to find the mean, the median, the mode. I'm going to start with the mean. So I'm going to add up. I'm going to plug into my calculator. 35 plus 0 plus 22 plus 31 plus 17 plus 15 plus 8, and I get 128 divided by, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. When I divide 128 by 7, I get 18.285 and so on. And I'm going to round that to the nearest tenth, which would be about 18.3. For the median, this is not in order, so these lines that we provided here is for you to write it in order from least to greatest. As I'm writing them in order, I cross them off so I don't duplicate. So 0, then 8, then 15, then 17, 22, 31, and 35. Now that it's in order from least to greatest, I'm going to cross off lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest. I am left with one in the middle, so I always have to cross off together. Lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest. I am left with 17 in the middle, so our median is 17. And then if I look here, nothing repeats, so there is no mode, or there's none. All right. So we're going to do more examples, but we're also going to add in this extra piece of determining the best measure of center. When we are describing data, we want to make sure that we are using an accurate number to describe it. So we generally don't use the mode because you don't always see things repeating, or you could have the number that's at the bottom of the data set repeat. So generally speaking, we look at the mean or the median. So the mean is you use all the numbers, you're adding them up and finding the average. So it is the best measure of center when there are no outliers, like in this example here. There's nothing way up higher or way lower. The reason we do that is because if there was a number way bigger, it would bring the average up. Or a number way smaller, it's going to bring the average down. If there are outliers, okay, there are numbers that are way bigger or way lower, like in this example here, 283 is, we are going to use the median, because when we put in order from least to greatest, anything that's the highest will get crossed off right away. Anything that's the lowest will get crossed off right away. So this is going to be a better representation because we're eliminating that value right away. So let's look at a data set. The data set shows the scores that Emily bowled in her league over the last 2 weeks. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the mean. So I'm going to add these up. We've got 150 plus 160 plus 172 plus 154 plus 157 plus 170, 154, 147, 170, 155. And we get a total of 1,589. Make sure you are paying close attention when you're plugging it in to see that you're not making mistakes, or add it twice to know that you're not making mistakes. And then we are dividing by, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 values. When I divide that, I get 158.9 for my mean. Now we're going to find the median. So let's put it in order from least to greatest. We've got 147, 150, 154, 154 again, 155, 157, 160, 170, another 170, and 172. All right, now we can go ahead and cross off. If it helps you to visualize with your fingers, you can do that as well, right? Just remembering, if I cross off a lowest, I have to cross off a highest. Lowest and highest, lowest and highest, lowest and highest. Here's the problem. If I crossed off my lowest and then I would have to cross off a highest, I'm left with nothing. So what that tells me is that both of these are in the middle, right? Cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. We are left with both of those in the middle. So we need to find the mean of these two. We can add them up and divide by 2, because there's 2 values, to find that the middle of those 2 is 156. And that might have been an easier one to see just by looking at it. And then our mode, what occurs the most often? Now that it's in order from least to greatest, it's easy to see things that repeat. 154 repeats and 170, and they both repeat the same amount of times, 2 times. So both of these are going to be our mode. Now getting into the best measures of center. So we want to look at this data and see, is there a number that's way higher or way lower than the rest? So 147, that's really close to the 150s. 172, that's close to the 60s and 70s. I don't see a number that's way higher or way lower. So when there's no outliers, we are going to use the mean. And our reasoning is there are no outliers. All right, let's do one more example. The table to the right shows the number of monkeys at 12 different zoos. So let's go ahead and find the mean. I'm going to add these up. We've got 28 plus 36 plus 18 plus 25 plus 3 plus 44 plus 18 plus 42 plus 34 plus 18 plus 31 plus 31. So that gives us a total of 328, and we are going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just double checking, 12 values. which gives us 27.3 repeating, and I'm just going to write that as about 27.3. Now let's go ahead and find the median. So let's put this in order. We've got 3, then we've got 18, another 18, another 18, then 25, 28, 31, another 31, 34, 36, 42, and 44. So now those are in order from least to greatest. Let's cross off. Lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest. If I crossed off the lowest, I would also cross that off. So both of these are in the middle. We're going to find the average of those two. 28 plus 31 divided by 2. When I do that, I get 29.5 for the median. And then our mode, let's look at what repeats. 18 repeats and 31 repeat. But 18 repeats 3 times, 31 only repeats twice. So even though they both repeat, 18 repeats the most. So 18 is our mode. Finding the best measure of center, we're looking for outliers. When I look here, 3 is way lower than the rest. So to me, that is an outlier. The next closest is 18. So if there is an outlier, the best measure of center is the median. And our reasoning would be there is an outlier. And I'm going to write what the outlier is. 3.